Welcome, Gryphon fans, to this week's episode of the Gryphon Nation Football Show. We'll be talking a little bit in the first quarter about the Cabot game, which wasn't pretty, but we'll talk quickly about the first quarter of the Cabot game. In the second quarter, we'll talk to our special guest, band director Jose Holloway, about the Gryphon band and then upcoming events. We've got two great MVTs this week that we'll talk about at the halftime show. Prince Garth and Alma Rivera. The third quarter, we'll come back and talk about our big game this week against the North Little Rock Charging Wildcats. We won't be making any predictions, so we'll keep that away from Ray for sure. And then in the fourth quarter, as always, we'll talk about our opponents and conference teams that we played or that we play, how they did last week, how they're doing in the season, and who they play this week. So we've got a big show this week, and let's jump right into it. Coach Sessions, talk to us about the defensive performance against Cabot.
Well, Coach, 41-0. But when I watched the film this weekend and graded it all, it wasn't as bad as I initially thought. I mean, I left here Thursday night after the game thinking, the sky's falling. This is awful. This is the worst performance we've had. And then when you sit there and you dive into the film and you watch it and you break it down and you can see little glimpses of the kids doing the right thing, being where they're supposed to be, and Cabot, we don't match up well with Cabot.
Yeah.
They've got a tight end that's probably the most physical blocker in the state. They put him at H-back. We have nobody that can stand up to him right now.
Right.
Once we get through another off season, then we may be able to get up there on him. But so it wasn't as bad as what that shows. The thing is, I mean, there were not a lot of things that went right for us through the course of the game. We drop an interception on Cabot's first offensive play. That you never know. That could have changed the outcome.
Right.
I mean, it could change the momentum. We had just turned it over on the kickoff. They get the ball, I guess, somewhere in the red zone. And first play, they throw it to the end zone, and it hits us right between the numbers. Yeah. We drop it. So it was just one of those nights for us defensively.
Well, and one thing, we didn't give up many yards. That's a good thing defensively. The bad thing is, they didn't have to have very many yards. We special teams.
40.
We fumble the opening kickoff. They get the ball on about the 20. Then the next kickoff we fumble or we bobble it and we get it on the 1. And then the third one, I think we bobbled it out of bounds. Got it on about the 4. So yeah, tough night special team wise for sure. Coach, talk to us about the offensive performance last week. And I know, like Coach Sessions said, we didn't match up well with Cabot. They're a lot stronger than we are up front. We didn't get much blocking. I'm going to say we didn't get many holes Friday night. Our kids tried and competed, but it was like running into trees quite a bit. So tell us a little bit about the offensive performance.
Coach, I'm going to start right there blocking. A lot of credit to Cabot, Coach. I mean, they're in the weight room every single day, and it showed on last Thursday. We've got to get to being a physical football team. We have to get to that point in order for us to be successful. We really didn't have a lot of production this past week. We've got to get better, Coach, honestly. We've got it. It starts in practice. It starts with game preparation, and we've got to get better.
Oh, I agree. Did anybody stand out at all?
Coach, I'm gonna be honest. No, not a lot. Not a lot of standouts. I will say this: Anthony Jones. He's a guy that he shows up every single day.
Yeah.
Coach, he gives us his best. I say Makai Muhammad. We're still working with him. He's progressing every week. He's a young sophomore, and then another guy named Jakari Bass. I'm hoping that he has a big week this week, Coach.
And I want to throw this out there too. I mean, I think Brandon Bryant,
that's right,
Dylan Jackson, two of our mainstays on the offensive line. Brandon's been playing hurt most of the year, but he's shown a lot of maturity and growth from last year. He's staying in there every play and fighting through it. And Dalen, he's our center. We take him for granted quite a bit. He may not have the best game week in, week out, but we're not having a lot of issues with nose meat, and this conference has got some good ones. You know, and also Luther Tucker. I mean, we had 53 yards offense last week, not good, and he had 40 of them. So he was probably our only offensive production on the midline, and so I thought he played a lot better. You know, last week had a lot better attitude, effort. So that's a positive for sure. When we come back in the second quarter, we'll have our special guest Jose Holloway on to talk about the Gryphon band, and so stay tuned, and we'll see you in just a few minutes.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzz and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So, yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
Hey, Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Oh, sweetie. Okay, you know what? Let's take off his sweatshirt. Get rid of pictures of him. You don't have to look at him. Goodbye, Dave.
Mom, you don't understand. He's tagged in like 400 of my posts.
I can cut out tags.
No, that's not how it works.
What is a tag?
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care would love to share their first with you.
Welcome back, Gryphon fans, to the second quarter of our show this week. Each second quarter, we always try to bring some sort of special guest to Southwest on, and we've got a good one today. He's the director, the creator of the Supersonic Storm of Southwest Marching Band, Jose Holloway, and we are very excited about having you here today. Welcome, Jose.
Glad to be here, sir. Yes, sir.
Well, we're going to jump right in. We could go 1,000 different directions, but we've got 4 questions we usually try to ask each week. And Jose, tell us about what it's been like from the band perspective of starting a band from scratch here at Southwest.
Yes, sir. Great question. It's really been fun. You know what I mean? It's really been fun. So third year, right?
Third year, yeah,
right.
yeah.
So for any,
It's gone fast, hasn't it?
it's going fast, you know. And honestly, that first year I count as a 0.5, you know, because we really didn't get enough time with
Right.
you know, just like you guys didn't get enough time to develop, I didn't either.
Right.
In the band, you know, no one did, you know. But that's the good news. We all had the same thing to go through, but the difference is we were the only ones crazy enough to start a school during COVID.
Yeah.
So, with that being said,
That crazy Mr. Burton, I tell you.
yeah.
Love you, Mr. Burton.
So, you know, it was just one of those things where it was like, okay, well, here we go.
Yeah.
Put your bootstraps on, let's figure it out. And, you know, that first year, those kids really did a great job for it to be a COVID year. You know, they were putting out some good sounds. I was really focusing in on fundamentals, how to march, how to look, all that stuff. Because when I was in high school, the director of bands at that time is our current choir director, Dr. Cynthia Merritt. He graduated from University of Arkansas Pine Bluff. So a lot of what I know about the HPC band culture, I took from there.
Yeah.
Because I actually went to predominantly white institution, Henderson State University.
Right.
Arkansas.
I'm sorry.
So
Go Reddies, right?
I'm not. Go Reddies.
You'll never hear me
so
say
being in
go.
Arkansas.
Go Reddies.
But you know, but so it's pretty cool because I get to kind of touch from 2 different spectrums there. You know, so it doesn't matter what kind of kid I get, I can reach them however, whatever culture, whatever instrument, whatever music they like. I try to reach something for everyone. So I think for the past 3 years, that's really what it's been like for me to start from scratch.
is I'm able to consider every kid from every corner, from every angle, and it's really been going to our favor.
Well, we'll go right into the second question. We need a 30-minute show just to talk about this, really.
That's
but
true.
we don't have long. But tell us about any upcoming band competitions or events for the listeners.
Yes, thanks for asking. So here at Southwest, I want to actually talk about that first, then I'll go backwards. So Saturday, November 19th, everybody put that in your calendars. I need at least 12, 15 football players to work the Battle of the Bands for us. We're going to have 10 marching bands here. 10. You heard it here live. We're having Cranksgiving Battle of the Bands. Okay?
Cranksgiving.
Now everybody don't know what cranking means, but that is a term where bands, how powerful a band can play.
Okay.
Or volume-wise, loud, right? Big. We want big sounds. So we're going to see who's got the most powerful band. And if you think that's you, step up and come see the Battle of the Decade go down, first annual. Now I'm going to go to next week. We have middle school night. We will be recruiting middle school students. So we want Pulaski Heights, Dunbar, Horace Mann, Forest Heights, wherever you at, come on this way. And we want you here at Southwest for our band night next Friday as we take on Bryant. And we have a great field show for you and a Aaliyah tribute, okay? All right.
And then, let's see, any other competitions later on?
Thank you. I was trying to rush. So UAPB is this Saturday.
Okay.
We will be at the Battle Royale going at it against 8 of the finest bands in our region. So it'll be bands from Mississippi, Ohio, and we're going to go against them.
So fans, you heard, like this Saturday at UAPB, next week we got the middle school here, and then November the 19th,
correct,
Cranksgiving. So we don't have a lot of time. I know that you're a jazz musician. We've got probably less than a minute left, but what's your favorite part of Southwest thus far since you've been here?
Absolutely. My favorite part really is the camaraderie. The pep rally last week was a movie. The Homecoming movie. It was awesome. Yeah. You know what I mean?
The game was a nightmare.
The game was a nightmare.
We won't talk about that.
But the band had your back. You know what I mean? And I want to talk about that out there. The band backs up our football team.
I appreciate it. We back up our band, too.
And I'm glad our football team backs up our band. It's been a great.
Thank you for coming on.
Great show. Thank you,
guys. Guys, we will be back. At halftime, we'll be doing our Wood Grill Most Valuable Teacher Awards to Prince Garth and Alma Rivera. And then we'll come back for the third and fourth quarters. So, see you in a second. Go Griffins.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm going to miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. Now I'm anything but lonely.
We have this deep connection, this heart connection.
He just wants to be close to you and part of your life.
Every day with Turtle is a perfect day.
When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer.
I think everything he does shows how much he loves us.
When we adopt a shelter pet,
we discover
they're a little bit of a lot of things,
but they're all pure love.
It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes. You can do it here. But you probably won't. You're busy. Kids, work, show coming back in 48 seconds. So let's do this now. Hold up one finger if you're a man, women, 0. 3 more fingers if you're over 60, 2 over 50, 1 over 40. If you're not sure, keep in mind you're sitting on a couch right now, so 1 more finger if you're not very active. 1 finger if yes, 0 if no. 1 yes, 0 no. Next, find the body type that looks most like you and hold up that many fingers while I look around awkwardly. And that's it. If you're holding up 5 fingers or more, you probably have prediabetes. Sorry to be so blunt, but hey, you're busy. Just go to the site.
Here in the third quarter, let's talk about the Cabot Panthers. This is our third homecoming here at Southwest. We've had a lot of things going on this week for our kids. It's exciting to see our kids, who really doesn't have a lot of tradition at a new school, kind of enjoy the homecoming festivities. So we're excited about that. But the main thing always about homecoming is the game. And so we're playing the Cabot Panthers. They're ranked number 4 in the state. They could be maybe the best team in the state. Coach Scott Reed has done a great job of building this program. They're very, very strong. They're physical. They've got an offensive line that really looks like a college offensive line. They've got a running back that's doing a good job as well. And I don't want to steal all your thunder. I want you to talk about them, but just I'm very impressed with them offensively, defensively, and special teams. We've got our work cut out for us. Coach, talk about the Cabot Panthers on the offensive side.
Well, they're really solid. Coach Reed is one of the best play callers in the business. I mean, he really is. He's tough to prepare for. He's got a lot of adjustments. I've been going back the last couple of years and looking at how he's adjusted when you shut down one thing, what he does. They're going to do a lot of 20 personnel. Their H-back, number 81, Gavin Reardon, he's all-state wrestler, very tough kid. You watch him on film, he's probably the best blocker we've gone against all year.
Yeah.
I mean, our linebackers, our defensive linemen, anybody that comes in contact with him, they better buckle up because he's coming at them full speed. I mean, that kid loves to hit.
Yeah.
You can just see it on film, and so that he's really the player that scares me the most because he's the one that's going to open up the holes for the running back. Quarterback's not afraid to put his head down and run. And, he's got a good arm. He can throw if you give him time. If he's in the pocket patting the ball, he's going to find an open receiver. Last year they had Brandon Jay's son back there. Brandon's one of the coaches. They had his son back there, and he was kind of their do-all player.
Right.
They moved him around a lot, got the ball to him in multiple ways. They don't really have that guy this year, but they've got solid receivers, that they put in that role some, but they don't rely on them as much as what they did in the past. And I've known a lot of those guys over there a long time. I went to college with a couple of them, and so, it's always fun to go over there and compete, or have them come to us and compete against Cabot because, like I said, I've known those guys for a long time and started my career in West Memphis coaching against Cabot every year. It was West Memphis Cabot for the conference championship every year. So, I've got a lot of history with Cabot, and they're solid. They're tough to prepare for. I think they're gonna line up and try to run the ball right at us.
Yeah.
And, if we can't stop the run, it's going to be a long night.
Well, you're right. I mean, they're H-back. I'm watching a little bit of film from, I guess it was the Ruston game. I mean, he destroyed their end on one of the counter plays. And we've not seen that all year like that.
No.
And so, you better buckle up and be ready to play him. And number 20, their running back, he busts a big play down the sideline, and the cornerback comes up to tackle him. And I'm talking about just mauled the kid. And so he's a physical kid that will finish runs. Let's talk a little bit about If there's a school in the state of Arkansas that knows how to stop the dead T,
that's right.
It's Cabot.
Cabot.
They've gone against Coach Malham's offense for 30 years. And so a lot of those guys are still there. Coach, let's talk about the Cabot Panther on the defensive side of the ball.
On the defensive side of the ball, Coach, led by John Painter, the defensive coordinator, ended up having the opportunity to work for him my first year of coaching. So kind of have an idea what he wants to do. He runs a 4-3 defense. Starting from the D-line, they're very physical, Coach. Okay? Our O-line, versus their D-line, that's going to be the star of the show right there, okay, of the game, excuse me. And so linebackers, they're pretty solid. They fly to the football. And in the secondary, especially against the Ruston game last week, they ended up getting a pick or two. And so, Coach, defensively or offensively, we've got to do the little things, Coach.
Yeah.
Just do the little things, no mental errors, execute our blocks, execute the play that's called, and I think we'll be successful.
One thing when you watch your defense, what I've seen is the teams that have tried to go wide on them, We are in a school setting, so just to let you know, from time to time you may hear a bell or you may hear an announcement. That's part of the show. You just got to kind of monitor and adjust. But one thing about their defense last week, last couple weeks, a lot of teams try to go wide on them.
Right.
And I'm telling you what, they're surprisingly fast. Right. Teams don't have a lot of success. Teams that run at them, they don't have success either. Right. There's a reason why they're 3-1.
That's right.
The team that did beat them, Ruston, it probably wasn't Cabot's best offensive game that night.
Right.
It was just that's a long trip.
Yes.
But we expect we're going to get their best. And I tell you what, we better buckle up and be ready.
That's right, Coach.
And there's a lot of things at homecoming that can distract kids. Mm-hmm. So we've got to do a good job as coaches to focus on the task at hand. And that's just every play, go out there and win that play. Mm-hmm. And if we do that, we'll have a chance to be in the ball game.
That's right.
We'll be right back in the fourth quarter. We'll talk about some of the teams in our conference and on our schedule and how they've done. And we'll do some pick-ems. So we'll be right back for the fourth quarter. Stay with us.
This is the story of a boy who is very sensitive to lights and sounds. So he built secret hiding places where nothing could get in. The boy didn't like looking people in the eye. It made him feel uncomfortable. One day, he found out he had something called autism. His family got him help, and slowly, he learned how to live with it better.
Early intervention can make a lifetime of difference. Learn the signs at autismspeaks.org.
Hey, let's check out this park. Oh, wow, that's really cool. To find a great local park or forest near you, go to discovertheforest.org.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Or maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all. If I could go back, I would. But I can't.
Welcome back, Gryphon fans, to the Gryphon Nation Football Show. All right, this is the fourth quarter. During the fourth quarter, we talk about, it's kind of Coach Sessions' favorite thing. It's kind of the pick'em games and how our opponents did. So let's talk, Coach, first about the Rogers Mounties.
I'm telling you, Rogers is the biggest prize in the state. I said when we played them that was a great team.
Great scheduling by the head coach at Southwest picking them up.
I'm glad we got to play them because I got to see them live and they've got height at receiver, they've got speed, they're good. Their offense is as good as anybody in the state, I believe. They're 5-0. They beat Fayetteville last week,
That's
which
the first time since
I
06.
predicted.
You did.
I predicted right here. They're going to beat Bentonville West.
I kept waiting for you to put a Mountie head on.
If I had one, I'd wear it. Coach, they're going to beat Bentonville West, and it's going to be over by halftime.
Wow.
What?
Wow. Coach Pratt.
I hope we don't play West in the playoffs.
Coach Pratt, I didn't say that.
Hopefully we don't see West in the playoffs.
Hey, we're just having a good time. I don't know.
The way we're going, I don't think we have to worry about it.
All right, so let's talk about, I'll talk about Rogers Heritage, our second opponent this year. Rogers Heritage, hey, you're talking about the surprise team in the state.
Yeah.
Rogers Heritage is 3-2.
Beat Harbor.
It's hard to even say.
Yes, they did.
They beat Springdale Harbor last week. Not really close. They're 3-2 this year. It's been since, I think they said 2010 is the last time that Rogers and won a game on Friday night, a conference game on Friday night together.
Wow.
So Heritage has been down quite a bit. Coach Eric Munoz has done a great job over there, and he's got them believing. And so that's a huge win for the Rogers Heritage. They play Bentonville this week, and it will not be over at halftime with the Rogers Heritage leading Bentonville. I think Bentonville will end up beating them this week.
So this week, Coach, we have a 5A South matchup, Hot Springs versus the Queen. That game will be over pretty quickly, Coach. I mean,
DeQueen will win, you think?
Coach, Hot Springs is rolling right now. Daryl Burnett has his team in the right path. Last week they ended up beating Hope. Pretty good.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I no doubt about that. Coach, let's talk about Conway Cabot. They're the first. We played both of them the last 2 weeks. We kind of know what they both have.
Yep.
That's a huge game this week.
It is. It is a big game. Cabot, Cabot's really, really good at what they do. Coach Reed is one of the best game callers, in the business. Strategizing, getting kids in the right position. But this is Conway's year, Coach.
Yeah.
Just with what they do on offense, Coach Kelly's offense, very hard to prepare for. Every play could be a run, every play could be a pass. They're 50-50, they're balanced. They're balanced right, balanced left. There's no weaknesses in their offense.
Yeah.
None. And their defense, of course, you worked with Fimple, and I've known Fimple a long time. He's one of the best defensive minds in the game.
Yeah.
And when he comes up with a game plan, you can rest assured it's going to be solid.
I wish we had a big Wampus kitten head right now. You'd probably put it on, wouldn't you?
Right. No. Not so fast. I wouldn't do that now. But you do have a Wampus cat over there.
That's right.
But I think it'll be close for a while. The two teams are very familiar. It used to be a rivalry game.
That's right.
They used to open the season with it. When I was coaching at Conway, we played it at War Memorial, had a traveling trophy. So Conway Cabot's a huge deal, but Conway will be too much for them in the end. I can see Conway pulling away late. But it'll be a tough game and could potentially be a rematch in the playoffs.
Okay. Well, and talking about Conway Cabot, I saw highlights a couple of months ago of the old Conway Cabot rivalry game, and Conway was rolling out, threw a pass to this guy in the flat, and Stonehands.
He didn't drop it,
and he fumbled.
I scored.
He had to drop it.
Let's talk a little bit about Bryant and Central. There's not a lot to say here. Little Rock Central, they're young. They're just, they're in a rebuild phase, and they're playing the best team in the state. It's going to be tough for them. It's going to be really tough, and so I look for Bryant to win that one. Coach, talk about a very, very key game, Jonesboro and Northside this week.
Because this is a big game for both teams here. Jonesboro, they're 1-4. Northside is 2-3. I'm gonna go ahead and go with the Grizzlies.
Okay.
Coach Curry and the Grizzlies, man. Yeah.
It's a huge game for the playoff seedings because whoever wins it, if Northside wins that game, then they're sitting there with 2 wins already. And so good chance they're going to be a playoff team. If Jonesboro beats them, now you got Jonesboro and Northside with 1. It's going to be probably a triangle type deal at the end. So it's going to be tough. I'm probably going to go with Northside as well, but don't be surprised if Jonesboro doesn't pull it out. Okay.
Well, I'm gonna add to that now.
Okay.
Not so fast. 14-7 last week at halftime. Bryant, Jonesboro.
Yeah.
Everybody.
49-14 at the end.
I get that, but Bryant is Bryant.
Yes, you're right.
Bryant is Bryant. So Jonesboro has shown though that they can play with anybody. Because if you can hold Bryant to 14 points and a half,
you're doing something right.
You don't have your defense is okay, and if they, defense wins championships.
That's right.
Spoken from a defensive coordinator. No, he's speaking the truth, no doubt. Well, Gryphon fans, I hope you enjoyed the show this week. We have fun. I know we're in a tough situation right now, not winning games. We're not as happy as we should be there, but our staff gets along and we're working hard, and our kids are working hard. Good things are in store for this future. We just got to keep building and believing. We can't let go of the rope, and I know these are all coaching cliches. But as long as we keep showing up every day and getting better every day, good things are on the horizon. So stay tuned or come back next week. We'll have a great show next week, and we may even talk a little volleyball with our guest speaker. But thank you for being here with us, and we'll see you next week. Go Gryphons.
Go Gryphon.
Go Gryphon.